Music's essential when it's done right. And I hate it when I go and see a film and the film's great, but they just didn't think about the music. And I think the art of the score, for me, has become so important. My name's Gilles Peterson. I'm probably better known as a broadcaster. I work on the BBC. And I produce a little bit, and I run a record label, and I DJ. Subliminally, music had a huge power for me, and I think the way I heard music would have been through film originally. And I really remember hearing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That was like music, emotion, love, and everybody's talking as well for Midnight Cowboy, another great moment. Those two moments particularly, I remember, they still touch me with massive nostalgia. And I think that's when I really felt the power of music and emotion in a film. Michel Gondry, Wes Anderson and Jim Jarmusch, they're the leaders in a way when it comes to music and film. And Jim Jarmusch, you know, whether he's using music or not, he's got incredible taste. You know, his film Patterson wasn't a music film, but I thought that was one of my favourite films. It's a film about a poet, about a small town, which basically does nothing for 90 minutes, whether it's just on the bus looking out through the window, just that existential film that we all need every now and again.
When you're a child, you learn there are 3 dimensions: height, width, and depth. Like a shoebox. Then later you hear there's a 4th dimension: time. Then some say there can be 5, 6, 7.
I think poets need films like this to really sort of make people understand what poetry is all about. And I think that really what Jim Jarmusch did with this film is that he celebrates a poet, and somehow through the film you get the poetry coming out. And for me, it's just meditation, realism, total alternative to the noisy films that you get to see that are just thrown at you. These films, you know, are becoming more and more important to us all. Patterson particularly was a film that gave me this beautiful sense of the now. If you go into a record shop with me, one of the first places I'll go to will be the soundtrack section. It's an area in which producers have been able to be more free in their approach to making music. So as a result, some of the great soundtracks are made by great musicians, jazz musicians, experimental musicians. I mean, in a way, one of the films that I've chosen all night long. It's a very English film, beautifully shot. It's based on Shakespeare's Othello. Didn't quite know how, but it is. I wasn't really looking at that bit. I was looking more at the sort of use of music and the fact that it was all about mixed marriages as well. And I think at that time, socially, it was quite an interesting point to be talking about. There's drugs involved, and there's jazz, and there's late nights. You've got some big actors, and you've got some incredible jazz musicians in there as well. And it's just an essential piece of, you know, British filmmaking. The musicianship in it is really good, and the score is amazing, and it was brave. You know, you've got Tubby Hayes in there, you've got Harry Beckett in there, you've got Mingus in there, and Dankworth in there. For the music alone, that film is essential. When you look back at some of the archives that exist, thank God it's there, and you know, thank God we can actually sort of catch a snapshot of an era presented by amazing directors who had the time to make great art. Dread Beating Blood, I just think it's just an amazing snapshot of a time, you know, pre-Brixton riots. Thatcher's in power, Windrush generation, and you've got this amazing footage of Linton Kwesi Johnson and his life as a black Jamaican living in South London who wrote amazing sort of Creole Jamaican English poetry. Fantastic.
And so I naturally resorted to my first language, the language of the group to which I belong, about whose experience I wanted to write, which is the West Indians. I resorted to the Jamaican Creole. Come we go down there, make we take a ride down there. Come we go down there, make we forward down there. On a body topper, Come, we go down there.
I was growing up in South London at the time. I remember when the riots went off. I was on pirate radio at that time. It was a very separated time. Even DJing in certain clubs, you know, there was racism much stronger than there is today. With this documentary, you really get a sense of what Windrush was, what it brought to this country, but you can really feel how far apart the society was at that time. The fact that he turned himself into an academic, everything was against him to be who he became, I think is a real inspiration. And yeah, this is so relevant, a movie. That's what makes it so good. And again, you know, Linton Kwesi Johnson, you know, we need to celebrate these people that are what Britain is all about for me. For me, nowadays, if I go to the cinema, I'll probably be mainly drawn to documentaries. The documentary tends to be the thing that doesn't date. It really gives you that sort of ability to go somewhere, and it's true, it's a true thing. There's nothing for me more exciting than finding out that they're doing a documentary about someone that I love. Searching for Sugar Man, I saw it when it came out. I had a personal story with that film because a friend of mine who'd been a soldier in the Rhodesian War in South Africa had told me about Rodriguez. So he gave me a copy of the record and I started playing it on the radio, and it was a big hit for me. The film came out, and Searching for Sugar Man, and it was basically a documentary about this one-off artist out of Detroit who made 1.5 records, couple of albums, and disappeared. And this record was huge in South Africa. And so the whole idea of the documentary is, what was he? Who was he? What was he doing? Was he a brickie? He was seen here. Was he a heroin addict? They finally find him in an interview. He's just the sweetest, nicest person. He had a very simple life.
Frozen children in her city. Walkers in the paper rain, waiting for those nights that never came.
One of the great moments of the documentary is where the documentary maker, who's a massive fan of Rodriguez, goes to find out who released the records in America. And it was a man called Clarence Avant. They've just had a nice lunch together, and they've sort of talked to me about Rodriguez. And next thing he's saying to this man, Clarence Avant, where did the money go?
Well, so he sold half a million records, so what? I don't know who you sold him to.
They found this man and they made him the scapegoat. And actually, he's not the scapegoat. It kind of questions the role of the music industry. Music has benefited from the ability to be able to make your own music at low cost. The creativity of the last 20 years has been unbelievable. And I think that it's the same thing with film. I think that, you know, independent filmmaking, being able to create and build your art, where are the future greats going to come from?